guys, we're arrogant to think that we have tomorrow. Do what needs to be done today, say what needs to be said today only.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wiser Together. This is your host, Parmeet Kumar, with your co host, Anas Pasha.
Hi guys, how are you?
All good, bro. How you doing?
Great, brother.
Another very late start for us after a 2 hour delay.
My God, Riverside loves us.
Yeah,
We cannot
totally
do
does.
anything. Basically, tell them what Riverside is so that they have an
Yeah,
idea.
so basically, we use a platform for video calling, which is
Yes.
Riverside.
Yeah.
Excellent for podcasting. It's just that takes some time to figure out, and they keep updating their systems. So we're just trying to keep up. But as anything in life, guys, you start something, there's going to be a learning curve. You'll fail a few times, but that's part of the process.
Absolutely.
Uh, but here we are doing episode 5, and I just want to start with gratitude. I know gratitude is something that we both have talked about so much, and it's just that baseline attitude we have towards everything. Uh, Firstly, like we're so grateful we've shared this amongst us, but I want to share this with others that we're so grateful that we have the opportunity to do this. People
Absolutely.
have responded really well, and the primary goal was to get the conversation going towards in this on this topic in this direction. And a lot of people have opened up to me saying that this is just wonderful, and it's just opened that door between our friendship or whatever the relationship I have with them to talk about these things. Generally it might be awkward for some people, or
Mm-hmm.
uh, you don't have that comfort zone established, but it's just opened a lot that door for me with them, that you can communicate about these things very openly and freely. uh, you know but yeah, how did you come out to be so grateful in life? Because I genuinely believe, like, the society we live in, capitalistic, uh, we're not taught to be grateful. We're shown through example, and generally taught to be greedy, chasing more and more and more, never being fulfilled. Sky is the limit. So how do you ground yourself, and how is, if there is any way you practice gratitude? Because I know you are very grateful generally.
Thank you.
So
I mean, I think you are one as well. And no, it's honestly, I don't even know. It's something that comes very natural to me.
hmm,
I mean, it's just I don't know. I think it's very intrinsic. It's very yeah, it's very internal. Like I've just I honestly don't have an answer for that. But what I can say is that I am a very empathetic person. A very, I don't know if I should use the word emotional, but yeah, I just whatever I have, I really love to cherish it. I really take ownership for it, and I guess that just makes me very grateful for it because um, what I do know is that whatever we have is quite unique. Like you said, this opportunity to do this, you as
yeah,
a friend, so many other friends, so many other people, they're just very unique, and they're, yeah, one in a billion. So that just makes me feel really grateful to have this, like in this timeline, to be a part of your universe, their universe. And
yeah,
that is on a humanistic nature, but on a materialistic nature, I'm also grateful for materialistic things as well. It's
hmm,
not that I mean, like the common notion is that we are grateful for the people. That's definitely a no like brainer for that. But for things, I'm also grateful. Like I'm very grateful for my phone. I'm very grateful for the clothes that I have, the car that I have, um, the laptop that I have, my gym bag, my yoga mat, my shoes, even, and like my gym clothes as well, and my shaker as well. Like so many other things that I'm
But how
just
do you
so
come to this sense of
grateful.
being? Like, do you practice it in some way?
It's
Do
just
you have
that
a
these
ritual? Or,
no, yeah, I mean, like, it's just that look, like, you have a relationship with these things as well, because
yeah.
more time than you spend with a human, you spend with these things as well. Although they cannot speak back to you, if they could, they would tell us a lot of things, but thank God they don't speak back to us. But the point is that you spend a lot of time with them, and they help you
Hmm.
with a lot of things. Like I said, my shaker in which I drink my BCAA or my protein shake, or my shoes which I used to run. So these guys are helping me reach my goal. So in a way,
Yeah.
I look at them as my friends as well. My shoes help me run faster, to be much more comfortable, and for the sole of my feet to not get hurt. My gym bag lets me carry a lot of things that otherwise I would have to carry in my hand. So I guess having this relationship with them is, you don't like would not need like a ritual or anything. It's just that whenever you see them and they help you do these things, it's an automatic gratitude like coming from inside of you. I know this sounds very profound. People might think it's beyond weird and creepy, but it is what it is if you think on a gratitude level.
Yeah.
So just really happy about these things. That's it.
I think that's great that it comes naturally to you.
Yeah.
And I think I see that as well to some extent. Uh, you've had your fair share of struggles. Everyone does in their
Yes.
own way. But to most, a lot of people, it doesn't come naturally. And I was one of them.
Hmm.
Uh, Generally, was a very greedy. It's just how I think about it is how I was shaped, how my personality, my perception, how I look at things, how that was shaped by my surroundings and society. I was just taught to chase more and be more greedy. And but as I practice more and
No,
more
but
spiritual,
I understand that. But when you mentioned the word greedy, like, did you realize that? Because I don't think one realizes greediness. Like, did you like how?
one does one when you get past it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in a phase where I've gone past it. Then I can kind of look
Huh.
back and think, okay, I was there. Uh, it's just it comes down to because your mind is taught to just want more and more and more. One ice cream is not enough. You want two ice creams. A small car is not enough. You want a bigger car. Then you want another a bigger car than that. The house you get. You know the society we live in. Whatever you get, you want more, right? You came to this earth with nothing. You what you
Hmm.
have is quite a bit, right? If you were in that position, this would be a blessing where you are now, right? But being here, like people forget that this is what you were chasing before, and now that you're here, you want more. So for for that sort of perception and mentality, the glass will always be half empty, right? No matter what you get, you'll never be satisfied. You'll keep on chasing and chasing and chasing, and it doesn't come down to what you have on the outside. It just comes down to what sort of perception you have within. What's your underlying attitude towards things? Do you are you It's just like I mentioned, that analogy is when you look at things, the first perception is the glass half empty or half full, how you look at it, right? And I feel like it's so the power of gratitude is so underestimated. It can genuinely change, it can have a very profound effect on our well-being, right? If you just approach things from that perception. Now, that perception doesn't come to me naturally. I had to build it up. And there's something I do every morning, which is practice gratitude. You can do this in different ways. One of the ways I do it is I just, very simple, I write down, I am grateful for whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It could be something as simple as breathing. or running or rice, eating, you know, uh, having warm clothes,
Absolutely.
having a bed to sleep in.
When did you start doing this exactly?
Yeah, so I'll come to that. It's just this I started in 2021, and for the longest time, it's not that I really meant and felt, oh, I'm genuinely so grateful for eating rice. No, I genuinely didn't even feel that. But it was just a practice. Because I practiced that for so long, and I still do it to this day, it just takes maximum 5 minutes. But because I practiced that for so long, generally, just my underlying attitude is just, yeah, it's just grateful to have this and this because you practice it, everything, right?
Yeah,
It comes with
that's what
practice.
I'm trying to understand. So the cause came after the effect, if I were to say, like, so like you like,
The
yeah,
the effect came off for
the
what? For greed?
no, 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 for gratitude, like, from what you told right now, it's
The effect came after the
the effect
cause.
came after the cause. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
I I
Yeah, you
this is
started
something I
writing,
was
yeah, and then
yeah.
yeah, okay,
I was just recommended by someone. It was I had a life coach at the time
yeah,
in 2020 actually. Yeah.
correct.
And he was the one who kind of pushed me to do this, and
Yeah,
he would kind of
then I
hold me
remember, yeah, because
accountable.
I remember, yeah, you started this in front of me, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I seen the effect, like, I've seen when you started this entire thing. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So the point I was trying to make is that it's not that I really felt it at the moment. It's just that I practiced it more and more and more and more. And now it's just about, you know, because I've practiced it so much, like anything, it just comes to you naturally, right? That is second nature to you. However, before it wouldn't be like that. Once you get something, you just want more and more. And that's the kind of social media or the society we live in now.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like, it's I am also under the impression that I also want more. That is there. Is
No,
just, yeah.
it's not about wanting more. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. It's not
Okay.
about wanting more. It's about what your focus is on. Okay, don't take this in the wrong way.
Of course,
Obviously,
of
you
course. If
everybody has ambition.
no one's watching this. Go ahead.
Okay, no, everybody's watching this, and that's why I put it very clear. Think about it this way, right? That wanting more, are you attached to it? And how you would define attachment to it is, do you possess it or it possesses you? Just think about that for a
Yeah,
second,
that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
right? So, that wanting more, if that changes your behavior, the actions you're taking, the personality you have, the perception you have, if that's kind of dictating your behavior. Okay, now this could be taken in two ways.
No,
So
no,
these
no,
things,
no,
you
because
know what
no,
I'm trying to say?
you're on track. You're on track. Absolutely. It's
Yeah. So then
if it
you,
takes a hold of you, and if it changes the person that you are, your core being, it
yeah,
basically, essentially, if it messes with your value, and
exactly.
then that's definitely
And if
sorry.
if there is a
Yeah,
price you would pay in terms of your well-being and happiness, and how at peace you are, if there is a price you pay through not being able to achieve that, then it's just your focus is on that. Generally, it's how Marcus Aurelius says, he said that, and you read his book as well. We're going to get to
yes,
that. He said that the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts.
absolutely.
And are those thoughts focused on you being fulfilled with what you have, or you focusing on the emptiness or the next best thing? Because the next best thing is never going to be there. You'll never reach the next and the next and the next and the next. You'll never be satisfied with what you have currently. You're always focusing on the next best thing. While that is ambitious and maybe good and maybe successful for some people, it's never gonna make you happy or satisfied or at peace in life. That's why all these billionaires, they chase money and their definition of success, which is very,
Hmm.
monetary. So they chase that, and after having achieved all of that, then they question life because that doesn't make them happy eventually. So it just comes down to uh, your underlying attitude. Are you the one who looks at the glass half full or half empty? Now, this is easy to say, but hard to practice, if
Absolutely.
that makes sense.
It makes sense, and it takes some practice. I mean, for a person like me, even if it comes second nature, it takes some, like, you need to put on a certain lens to make sure that you see the glass, that the glass is full, not as half empty. And obviously, there are going to be underlying thoughts, like Prameet said, that are going to try to pull you down or try to make you look from another lens. But like Prameet said again, it's just very important to know why you're doing what you're doing, and the purpose needs to be defined very, very clearly.
Yeah, but generally, like, even if you're not like, you could not be successful from the society's point of view but still really be happy. It just comes down to what you're chasing as a person in life. Everybody has a different definition of success, but something that we share, I think we do that. And
Yes.
that's something that we want to communicate through this podcast as well. As our way of success is being fully content and at peace and confident in who
Absolutely.
you are,
And
fully
yeah,
at a level that is unmatchable. And I feel like the life you create from there is truly beautiful, and that will lead you to success. But if you keep chase success, you'll society's version of success, you'll eventually come to a point where you'll have to reflect back within, and you'll have to do a lot of that. So eventually you'll have to reflect back within. So you do that before or after, it's to you. A lot of people are not even able to chase that success because, see, they stop chasing success. Successful people, right? They stop when they realize that this is not it, right? But for some people, they're not able to realize that their glass is always empty, and they're always looking for the next best thing, next best thing. You know what I mean?
absolutely. I honestly think you've done a tremendous job at explaining this. I mean, spot on, spot on. I think everything is just right out of my mouth as well. I don't even know what to add to this. I think we're good to go with
Yeah,
being grateful and gratitude. Just one thing, what he said was, all of those things Parmeet said. Adding one more thing is, yeah, like essentially just having our glass full. And our purpose is that when our glass is full, we're able to fill others' cup as well. So that's like
yeah,
the whole illustration of this thing and
exactly.
this journey.
Because in a way, like, to kind of add to what you said, glass being full, if you're looking at the glasses, in reality the glass is always going to be half empty, half full, but you're focused on the full part.
Hmm.
So in your perception, that glass is full to the brim. Does it make sense?
Yes,
And when it's full to the brim, then you're in a state where you just gratefully appreciate things you want. You're happy and content with what you are. And generally, if you lead life from that perspective, you'll get more and more anyway. So I just wanted to
speaking of yeah, speaking of
touch base on this
yeah,
with
yeah,
you
yeah,
because we've really talked about this at length, and then
at
we
length.
decided this is something we should really share with every noise. We me and Anas send each other a lot of voice notes, and every voice notes are, oh, I'm so grateful for this, and so, and we're like, bro, we have, this is so common, like we
No,
have this underlying.
absolutely. I say this because I still remember back in high school, or I don't know, man, back in primary school, I whenever we used to go out or anything with my friends, I used to be the guy talking about these things and these ideas, whereas
Yeah,
I don't want to sound condescending or anything at all, but my God, the other table, like everyone in the other table, just talked about the things that teenagers, or I don't know, like young adults talk about, right? And I used to
yeah,
talk about these ideas and things, and I always used to have like see the look on people's face, either they were bored or uninterested. And from that point onwards, like I've always been like this my entire life. And
yeah,
then came along Parmeet with this vision and this idea. I already had known him, and we used to have these things, but not at this. length and this intensity. So why we start with these things when we say in the first few minutes of the voice note appreciating each other is because if I can speak for myself, I used to crave for this conversation. I used to like look for a person, a friend, um, with whom I can have this conversation. And I don't have a lot of friends. Like, I mean, sure, I do. I know a lot of people, but friendship is another broader definition. But I do not have like a lot of friends, and then I do not have a lot of friends that I can talk to them about these things. So that's why this a first minute is always about appreciation and gratitude,
Yeah.
and this comes from the heart. So, guys, again, like these appreciations and gratitudes, apart from what Parmeet and I said, can be anything, just voice notes as well. So the it's limitless of what you can be grateful about.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just, you can actually like sense it in a person, and that really affects their state of being. So I just want to summarize quickly. The point of all
Yeah.
this was to share that how practicing gratitude can generally change your life. Like I mentioned a quote from Marcus Aurelius, which was, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And if those thoughts are focused on the emptiness or something that you don't have, as opposed to what you have, that will have a huge impact on your sense of being, because you're always living in, uh, is depletion the right word?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Depletion,
Yeah,
deficiency,
whatever.
insufficiency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Basically, instead of your glass being half full. So practice gratitude. You can do it in, there's tons of resources you can find online. You can do it in very different ways. How I did it was, I just write 5 things I am grateful for, XYZ, whatever it may be. Takes a few seconds, few minutes, and just keep practicing that. I don't want to say it's going to change your life from day one. This is going to take some commitment. It's going to take a few months, but slowly and gradually you'll see it have an effect on your baseline thought process. Your initial uh, thought, your intuition, basically, in a way. So that's that. I really want to talk about the
What?
book.
Oh, okay. We're going to talk about the book. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just quickly, let's touch it. I know you. So, Anas read. Honestly, that made me really, anything with meditation, like, my tail just
You have a
like
tail.
it.
Guys, he has a tail.
This is this is your analogy, bro.
Oh yeah, that is. I
Anyway,
I just want to apologize to everyone. My chair is squeaking. We're going to oil this guy out. So apologies
that's
for the
okay. All
squeaking.
part of the process.
Yes, we've added this to our
We're,
notes as well.
I like how transparent we are. But
Uh,
anyway, how was the book for you? Because I wanna read it. I've read a lot of things about him, but I haven't read the book per se. It's called Meditations, right?
Okay, yes, I'll just give a quick context.
Yeah.
So currently we're in Ramadan, right? And Ramadan tends to slow things down a little bit, and that gives me a lot of time to catch up on a lot of TV shows and documentaries and movies. Movies, only horror movies. Ramadan adds a layer of protection, so for documentaries and TV shows, I love history. Anything with history just again makes me wiggle my tail as well. So I was
Hmm.
able to finish three amazing series.
Oh.
One was the Band of Brothers. The second was the Pacific. These both are based on World War II. Band of Brothers is based on the European frontier of the war. From the American perspective, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. It teaches us a lot of about sacrifice, a lot of what goes in in the army. It's not necessarily about the U.S. It's about being a soldier in any other country and brotherhood. Pacific also follows the same theme, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of sacrifice, and it makes us think and lets us reason with as to why. The third thing
Hmm.
that I was able to complete after Iftar, mind you, was Rome, because you can't really. I mean, per se, you shouldn't watch such stuff during Iftar, but anyways,
Yeah.
Rome. So Rome focused on three important people and two important dictators or yeah, one emperor. uh, the dictator being Gaius Julius Caesar. I mean, everyone knows about him. uh, his conquest, how he was able to conquer the Gaul, which is modern day France, and his triumph, and then how he became like the dictator for life. um, and then his basically his adopted son, I forgot his name. If it's
That's fine.
Octavian, yeah, and then Mark Antony. So these three people, anyway. So just watching that entire series, looking at that time, looking at that period, I had never given Rome a second thought as to how advanced they were, as to how, like, for their time being, how like socially and culturally advanced they were. Like, they had like a fully function democracy going on over there. At the same time, a lot of politicking and a lot of philosophy was going on there as well. And through and when you start watching these things, YouTube videos start popping up as well, right? And one of those videos pointed me towards Marcus Aurelius. So Marcus
Mm-hmm.
Aurelius was one of the five good emperors of the Roman Empire. And the book Meditation is basically a collection of his personal thoughts, of his personal observation day to day, similar to what
Mm-hmm.
I would say Parmeet does, because I don't do. Parmeet does journaling, right? And
Yeah.
whatever event that he goes through, whatever thing that he sees, he writes it down. And I believe
Mm.
that's that's such an imperial practice, because, excuse me, right.
Bless you.
Thank you, brother. So that's such an imperial thing to do, because whatever he sees, whatever he observes, Parmeet does that. And Marcus Aurelius, now you had this guy who was one of the most powerful people at his time,
Yeah.
speaking about everything. Like, that book has so many things, like, I'll get into it, but I'm just giving the context of the book. So these are those notes, those thoughts, those journaling that he does every day before going out and performing his duties as an emperor, and then after coming to his house, having performed those duties as an emperor. And these things were never meant to be like read out by the public.
Publicize.
Yeah, these are very, very private thoughts. And these were
Yeah.
not even in English. Obviously, they had to be translated.
Yeah.
And like, it's a miracle, it's a blessing that we have these things. And um, the YouTuber that I listen to, his YouTube channel account name is Daily Stoic. I forgot his name. I think is Ryan
Yeah. I
Holiday.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Holiday, and he says that like, if he was he knew that these people are listening, or like reading to his work, he would be very embarrassed and he would hide himself away. So that goes to show that he was a very modest person. So this book is, you have many versions of this book, but the one that I read is written by Gregory Hayes. It I like this version as well, because apart from the meat of the book, it gives us a lot of context into what he was going through at that time. Because you see, why I mentioned the TV series Rome is because I from that I understood how, like, politicking worked at that time and period. And I'm going to say this out with a grain of salt. Game of Thrones is probably inspired by that TV show, because that TV show came out, what, 10 years before. But the entire setup, the entire notion, the
Mm.
entire direction, everything is as if I was watching Game of Thrones. But and I was telling Prameet about it as well. What was extraordinary was that it was even better than Game of Thrones. There are only two seasons, but had more seasons come out, my God, it would have been fantastic. Because you see, these things happen. So Gregory Hayes gave us a context as to what Marcus Aurelius was going through. There's
Yeah.
like, there's the Senate over there. There are many rows: the consul, the dictator. There are many, many rows, and everyone is vying for power. So now you have this guy who's trying to practice stoicism, right?
Mm.
And he has the
I
privilege
believe
to.
Stoicism came from his journals, or
No, 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 no. So
was it
that's
the other way around?
no. So that's Zenos.
Oh, he.
Zeno.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
he was a
Yeah.
Greek
Yeah.
merchant. That's another story. Zeno is a
Yeah.
Greek
Yeah. Yeah.
merchant, and he is the father of Stoicism. Unfortunately, none of his work survived. We do not know why, but his students, Epictetus, Seneca, and a lot of other students. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, actually, I'm not sure if Epictetus or Seneca is his students, but Zeno's student. basically were the ones through which his work survived. And Marcus had the privilege of studying these work from these teachers, Seneca, Epictetus again, and that's and then basically he applied those learnings, those practice, those thoughts to his daily life. So basically, essentially, stoicism to me, for example, is that these are ideas, right? These are way of thought, these are lens through which,
Philosophy, yeah.
exactly, the lens through which you can see the life. And this is what Marcus did as well. Through this lens, he basically uh, was one of the five good emperors. And like Parmeet mentioned, that the again, I'm not good at quotes, I'm going to butcher a lot of them, but the quote that Parmeet gave, like the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Then another thing as to like the book covers a lot of details, like small things such as whenever he used to go out for his daily work and for the people that he used to deal with, he used to say that you're going to meet this type of people, that type of person, a deceiving one, a person who's a hypocrite, a person that will have a smile on his face but evil
Yeah.
intention behind his back. And then sometimes even before going out to work, like he used to say that he would rather stay in the warm comfort of his blanket. So that just goes to show that the one of the most powerful person in the world at that time is just so vulnerable and is just so modest as well. um, so yeah, I mean, there's lots of things in that book which just really
Yeah.
opened my eyes. And how you go about that book is that you first get the context, then you get the context about stoicism, and then you have chapters on chapters for his quotes and what he's saying, which are reflecting his way of life.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a lot of people might think that stoics are cold, emotionless, like boring people, but he was very active. He was a boxer. He used to ride
Hmm.
horses. Yeah, he was a
Boxer.
profession. Yeah, you're on your way. So a lot
I'm
of
on my way.
yeah, a lot of things from there. But like they had like a lot of thoughts. One
Hmm.
of those things that I really liked is how they say that we're arrogant to think that we have tomorrow. So that was one thing that just really, like that, whenever I recall that to myself, it just really pushes my button. So I highly recommend that book. I mean, that is a book that I will keep on reading, whenever I need inspiration, motivation for
Yeah.
certain points in life. So yeah,
Hmm.
it
I
was it
think
was a
stoicism
tremendous
is.
book.
I think stoicism is something everyone should look into because it really focuses on kind of honing your perception on things and generally in life. And I think it's if that philosophy will generally allow you to be really content and at peace with anything and everything there is, even if that is like you're suffering horrendously. It shapes your perception in a way that it brings you at peace with literally anything and everything. And at the end of the day, as Buddha says, life is just about ending all kinds of suffering. Uh, Stoicism really helps you get there. The book Anas read, I was really excited about it as well. That's why I wanted to him to get this perspective. I haven't read the book. I've read a lot about Stoicism, but that's one source of it. But generally, you can look at other stuff as well. Book is a big
Absolutely.
commitment, might not be good for everyone, but generally, just look into Stoicism. It if anything, it'll be an
Yeah,
interesting thing
it's
to dive.
actually just a collection of quotes. Like this is what it is, and then there's just like a
Yeah.
40,
But now it's
50
like a
pages.
school
Yeah.
of philosophy. It like they've
Absolutely,
into
I see it in
yeah.
you. I see it in you. The conversation, because having read this book just now, and when we had our first or the second podcast, and even through our voice notes as well, there are so many underlying things that both of us have
Hmm.
it in us. But I would say you have a lot a lot going on in the realm of stoicism. My The next step that I really want to do is memorize these quotes, because these are the things which are important, because these are exact, you see, these are exact concise words that relay
Yeah.
an information which is just so powerful.
Yeah.
This is
It's
what
just
needs to
about how you
happen.
perceive them, and it can definitely be extremely powerful. Everybody perceives it in a different way, but at the end of the day, it could just be another sentence for you. Or if you sit down and think on it on a deeper level, spend some time on it, I think it can really have
Absolutely, and
a
and I
profound
wanna
effect on
I
you.
wanna pick it up from here because
Yeah,
Stoicism has a lot to do with mental discipline as well and
yeah.
mental fortitude. I mean, what I really want to mention here is how proud I am and how proud all of our friends and family are of him for completing an entire marathon. And
Half.
to me, it's a complete marathon. But you
Well,
see,
I'm
you
gonna
see
do a full
why?
one. I
You see,
promise you. Okay, I can say
inshallah,
it on
of
the
course,
podcast.
yes,
17th of September, you'll see me run a full marathon under
inshallah.
4 hours. I promise you that.
Inshallah. But to me, why I think it's a full marathon in my perspective is because you see, running is the half battle, right? What goes
Yeah.
inside your head while running is the complete battle. So I would just want to start from here. I mean, of course, you're gonna tell us all the details about the marathon, but why didn't you stop running? Like, why? How? What made you push through to the finish line? Why didn't you stop in between?
It's once I start something, it's just generally in other things as well, and it's not. Before I did a half marathon, I'd never run 21 kilometers. That's, if somebody doesn't know, that's what half marathon is. That's how long the distance is. Uh, I started with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and as I used to start going up, there's always that underlying thought that no, let's stop. We do more tomorrow. This part is hurting. This is hurting. It's raining. I don't feel so good. I ate before running. There's like 1,000 excuses, but the more you focus on the excuses, the more power they get over you. Generally, that's what I've realized, right? And I just didn't wanna, when I start something, and I had this throughout practice as well. I was like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna fail. And through practice, believe it or not, I enjoyed running the half marathon so much. I was throughout practice, I was able to adapt a certain kind of mindset and do certain things that helped me get through that. But I was just, the most underlying thought that I had was, every time I heard an excuse from the mind, it was like, oh, it's paining so much. And I'm like, yeah, damn right, it's paining. It's
Hmm.
supposed to be painful. It's not going to be rainbows and flowers. You're trying to do something great here, right? So it's going to be painful. That's the part of it. So just observe and endure the pain, and just, enjoy that as well. And one more thing that really, really, really helped me get through was just smiling. Honestly, it's just something so little, but it has a very profound effect on how your body reacts
What
to
were you
that
smiling at?
expression. I was just smiling, bro. I'm just smiling like a
Like
fool.
a forced smile or like a natural smile?
It was forced, but I was coming at it from the point of view, man, I'm
Uh,
just trying to motivate myself. This is the self-talk I'm going through. Man, look at you. You're doing so great. Like, you're running a half marathon. You'll never run more than 5 kilometers ever. Like, I see you pushing this, and just telling these things to myself, and just trying to create an inflated image of what it is that you're trying to achieve.
oh, like a
Even,
superior Parmeet?
yeah, in a way. So it's just like pushing, giving myself sort of
Hmm.
energy through that, just smiling and pushing through. And
So
it's
so
one thing
so
I've, yeah.
so that's like, I mean, I do understand that with time you were able to achieve that. Run us through the process. Like, how were you able to build that endurance, like that ability to smile? Like, I just want to understand the process, like how it takes, because the life of me can't run that much. I mean, we're gonna try, inshallah, but I
I'll
want to
It
learn.
all started from, I'm a big, like, big fan of David Goggins. Right, I've seen him in live, like in person. I've read both his books as well, and that really inspired me to attempt this. This was never on my agenda to do a half marathon. I'm physically I'm focused on other things like boxing and stuff like that, which we'll get into. Uh, but running was never on my agenda. But there's one thing that David Goggins says, and he says that do something every day that you hate the most, right? And I genuinely don't like running because it's something that is just you and your mind. It's that just being with your mind and running 2 hours and listening to your mind for 2 hours while you're running and being able to just be observant and not attached to those excuses of the mind. It just makes you really, really, really powerful. Like the most satisfied I feel is after those, like when I was doing practice runs, 6 kilometers, 8 kilometers, 10, 15, 12. I would just, the more excuses I would get through and not listen to them and get through them, the more satisfied I would be after that. So it all started from David Goggins pushing me. I wanted to do a marathon and I scheduled that for 17th of September. This was just a step,
All right.
sort of like in that direction. And now is just the more you practice that art of observation, which is what meditation teaches you, it just all comes together. The more you're able to, while you run, because running isn't an intense exercise. It's just you're you maintain a certain level of
It's
heart rate, and
endurance. I've like it's just being
it's
consistent.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
endurance, and it's just during that time, like it's just about how comfortable you are with your thoughts. Does it make sense?
it makes
And
sense
it
because
kind of teaches you.
yeah, damn.
So I don't even want to stop at a marathon, but we'll see how, because it's something like I just want to see how far I can push this.
Definitely,
Oh yeah.
that's what I love about you. Because guys, like honestly, I am a closed island, and this guy connects bridges to this closed island to make this island global. No, honestly, I have a very narrow vision of thought. I like comfort, but this guy comes along and he shows me what different possibilities can be. And honestly, get yourself a Parmeet, get yourself a guy, a friend like
No,
Parmeet.
get yourself a honest as well, bro. It's just
No,
likewise.
no, no. Honestly,
It's just it's
this is what is amazing about you,
it's
and I wanna know like when you crossed that line, what were your emotions like when you finished it? Obviously, we've seen the pictures and everything, and we've seen that expression, but what was going inside?
I was just I was so content and happy, and I do a lot of visualization, right? Pretty much
So,
every
like a
night.
self affirmation, basically.
No, like like visualize.
Okay.
Like so, I'll do this pretty much like before I go to sleep. I'll do a visualization session for 5-10 minutes where I like just think about going through the whole process, like the whole day. So I wake up at this time and then I'll do this and I'll walk there and just go through that, and I go through that a couple of times. That just sets a tone in my mind, and that allows me to not have any doubtful thoughts when I wake up at 5 in the morning and I'm half asleep and I want to nap more. That visualization the night before is just like, no, I'm supposed to be doing this, and just it just lets it's automatic. So I had done that for the half marathon as well. I was just so content and happy, and these are just very basic things that everybody would say, but I just realized that true satisfaction and happiness I get is from this thing, just stepping way outside my comfort zone, facing the excuses and the burdens of the mind, and overcoming that and expanding that comfort zone. Because if you think about it, this is your comfort zone, right? You're inside it, right? If you step outside it, this zone is unfamiliar for some time. But when you overcome that, this zone expands, right? Now you're in your comfort zone again. So you have to keep pushing and keep expanding the zone, right? You can always find something that is uncomfortable, and that zone is unfamiliar. And in that zone, the mind will go crazy because it's uncomfortable. But overcoming that and then expanding that boundary is what brings me true satisfaction,
I think you've
generally.
given all of us some homework, guys. We're gonna find out things that makes us genuinely uncomfortable. Yeah, because it's actually very important things that,
It's a privilege to be
yeah,
sharing
of course.
this with you and everyone.
Yeah, because I mean, you're absolutely right. Otherwise, if we don't do these things, if we don't tackle or attack our things, which makes us uncomfortable, then we're going to be at a stalemate in life. We're, like quite stagnant. And this is how we keep on moving. I'm sure Pramit never
Yeah.
thought about it as well, but damn, he was able to do it. And now he's going to go to the next one, to the
Yes.
full marathon in September. So, inshallah. And that's just sounds
I want to
amazing.
run one with you as well.
Yes, yes,
We've
yes. We're going to
discussed
do
this
that. Yes.
one day. But
I hope I do not
you,
faint in the middle, but
yeah.
let's do it.
Uh, Yeah, I wanted to ask you about you had a certain thing hold you back recently,
Yes.
and it was, yeah. You wanna discuss,
All right.
get
Yes.
into?
So this is slightly something that we touched upon our podcast with Hero as well, and
Hmm.
this was like how Prameet was saying, guys, you must see his expression when he was saying that he genuinely feels so happy, so liberated, and just amazing when you're able to tackle these things. And this is the sort of run that I had been for the past 2 years. It's just an amazing feeling when you're able to make yourself useful and when you're able to do good, not only for yourself but for your friends and family. That feeling is just a feeling that you can't purchase anywhere. That is earned. That is hard work. That is earned. And it took me a lot of time to understand this, but thank God we're here now. And when we started this journey, I was on that zone. Like we were having our meetings because of the time difference. Like we were having it about 4:30 in the morning, and
Yeah,
yeah, and after that, I'm going to work out, meditate, run, self-reflect, all of these things, get ready for office, have a full fantastic day at the office, leave no stones unturned. And then after office, I used to sit on our work, the things that were supposed to be done, editing the videos, scoping out the next things to do, like so many things. So my day
yeah.
used to look like, I mean, starting from 4, ending at 9. I don't even know how many hours those are. Those are more than 12, more than 14. But it was
17.
phenomenal, yeah. And I never used to feel tired because this is his marathon. Like you can sort of put that as my marathon in this. I didn't used to feel tired. I was. I think we lost Permeet for a minute, but I'm gonna continue. So, um, yeah, this was something that was like a sort of a marathon for me, right? And meanwhile, an illness struck me. It was sort of an infection. Um, if I were to sum it up, that basically just made me incapable physically to go to the gym and perform the daily routine that I used to in terms of my physical like ability. And basically, oh, we have Prameet back now. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I was just continuing. I was just telling them as to what happened. So basically, it's just this illness basically sort of made me physically incapable for a month. That entire process from diagnosis to recovery made me, yeah, physically incapable for a month. And the previous Anas would say that the previous Anas would definitely abandon all things and would just wait until recovery. But this Anas definitely, through, like by reading the meditation, by doing all of these things throughout these 2 years, that sort of like created a resilient Anas that was still able to carry out the things that mattered. Sure, I was not able to hit the gym, but I was able to perform my duties at my job, make sure that I am dignified over there and that my responsibilities are being fulfilled, my commitment to Permeet, my commitment to my other friends, my commitment to my other work, everything was being taken care of. Although I was not in a position to do so, but still we pushed through. So the learning that I got from this entire period was that, first of all, um, and this is another philosophy by the Stoics, is that we're arrogant to think that we have tomorrow.
Yeah.
I always used to be like, okay, I got these things done, but these things I can maybe tomorrow. But for me, tomorrow never happened. Tomorrow happened after 1 month. So that 1 month went by in like a flash. So guys, we're arrogant to think that we have tomorrow. Do what needs to be done today, say what needs to be said today only.
Today. Yeah.
Another thing which obviously is just now so imperative, as we're growing older and older, day by day we're feeling like dinosaurs, but it's okay. That's the part of life. Every birthday makes us young. But anyways, the point is that health is wealth. Honestly, I mean, I know two very good people, very very amazing people that have had are dealing with actually physical problems that have affected their lives a lot. And honestly, I thought to myself, like, we're very privileged. I was privileged during this time. I like this 1 month, although it took a 1 month, but then I'm fine. But there are some illnesses, there are some sickness, that unfortunately, because we're humans, right, that we're going to go through, that are going to stay with us. So the learning that I got is that health as well. You must be very mindful of what you eat, um, of how you work out, and if you're working out at all, if you're taking care of your body or not. Because guys, physical obstacle is definitely a thing. I mean, if you're feeling tired, sick, infected, feverish, all of these things, you're not performing at your 100%. And I believe you have a duty to yourself to do some good on this world, not only for yourself but your family as well. And if you're not taking care of your body like that, then you're letting a lot of people down.
Mm.
So those are the learnings that I got. Just this 1 month has opened my eyes, and I think that was a lesson from God, because I was feeling superior. I was in the zone. I was like, damn, there's nothing that I can't do. And then this happened all of a sudden. Even to him, it was a surprise.
Life has a way
um,
to humble you,
yeah,
everyone.
and really really humbled me. And after that, I'm like, again, this thing that we're arrogant to think that we have tomorrow. We do not have tomorrow. We do not know what's going to happen the next minute. I don't even know if we're going to finish this recording. Sorry for being dramatic, but it is what it is. So yeah, that was something that I wanted to share. Thank you for touching upon that.
No,
And
thank you
yeah,
for
I
sharing that.
think,
It takes a lot of courage, and honestly speaking, it should work as a reality check for everyone. We sort of take it, just comes down to that gratitude point as well. We, because our life is going so well, we take it so for granted that we're not able to appreciate these little things, be it your family, friends, health. And it is in that, in the face of these illnesses or setbacks, that we truly reflect back on things that truly matter. So
absolutely.
why not form a habit of self-reflection, on a timely basis, be it daily, weekly, whatever
Yeah.
works for you, to keep yourself grounded, to keep yourself humble. I think that would genuinely have a very positive impact on everyone's
Yes,
life. And
sir.
yeah, and it's a testament to your hard work and everything. I just want to say, like, this guy, he was so sick, but he used to show up at 5 a.m. And yeah, man, it just,
Of course,
that's
we
the kind
have
of
a
partner I
commitment.
need, and that's the
Yes.
kind of partner I want, and I'm glad
And
I
I
get
know
to
you
do this
would
with you.
you would do the same, and that's the best thing, that we understand each other's situation. And that I came, but then he was like, quickly, like, you don't need to, just go. So he understood,
Yeah,
and
I'm not
I
cruel, guys. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm like, no, 5 a.m. Come here right now. I don't care. No, I'm glad we
absolutely.
have that, sort of bonding and understanding. But wow, this episode was. It has to
Yes.
be. We've only done
Yes.
like five, but it has to be one of my favorites. I think like we spoke
Definitely.
our hearts out,
I
and
think this went exactly to our vision. So this is
yeah,
what we
yeah,
discussed
I
here.
really liked it. I felt like very connected and in my element. So
Absolutely.
another thing, like I mentioned before, guys, is just about, uh, get the conversation going, talking about these things, and I'm just so honored and privileged and so grateful that I was able to open that door with some friends just through this podcast, right? So that is just what I want to do. Okay, this is what these are the kind of things we need to talk more about. So just engage with us, talk to us, support us in any way you can. We really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's all from
Absolutely
my
no.
side.
I just want to say grateful to you and grateful to God for good health, good friends, good everything. However it is, whatever it is, we're just happy that we have it. And as long as we're breathing, there's always
Yeah.
better. We can always be better. So that's all.
Exactly. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's just we're working towards this purpose, and the more people we can share it with, the more it helps the cause. So yeah, your support will not go unnoticed. It's much appreciated, and we hope you got some value out of this. We surely did. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.
Ciao, guys.